Okay, here's one that's about to come out. Here's another one starting to lift out. Okay, this one is lifting just a little bit. Here's another one that looks pretty bad. And then back to the first one. Now I can tell that this is not a factory built wheel by a close inspection of the hub. You can see that there's an indentation on the edge of the spoke hole, and that's from a previous build where this spoke would have been angled the other way. And you can see they're all like that, including this one that I removed. This wheel came with a used bike I bought several years ago. This is a wheel that I built myself. And if you look, you can see there's staggering of the spoke holes. You've got a couple of spoke holes here that are farther to that side, and then this one is farther to the other side, and they just alternate like that all around the rim. On this rim, it's harder to tell if there is staggering of the spoke holes. Usually there is some. I looked very closely and I can tell that there is. Normally what you would do with a mountain bike wheel that's a 32 or 36 hole build with 3 cross pattern is you would match this side of the rim to this side of the hub. I've seen it done the opposite way, but it's not very common. I noticed that the builder of this wheel did lace the spokes from the hub to the opposite sides of the rim. I am not sure if they did that on purpose or if it was an oversight, because the staggering of the spoke holes on this rim is not very well pronounced. So we can get another view of this again. Notice these 2 spoke holes. You can see that they are farther down than the center one, and follow the spoke all the way to what I would say in this case is the wrong side of the hub. I say wrong side because as I was adjusting the spoke nipples, they were grinding against the eyelets, and that may at least be part of the problem. Another thing to consider is the flange spacing of this hub. It is quite wide. It is actually the widest spaced rear hub that I have. Now this other wheel I have here is similar. You can hardly tell the staggering, but you can see this one here. It is slightly closer to this side, and the other one's a little closer to the other side. And you can see it's the same thing where they actually matched the opposite side of the hub flange to this side of the rim. But this hub is much narrower than the other hub on the other wheel. And I don't see a problem with this wheel. I don't see any broken eyelets on it. Now the online spoke calculators, the spoke length calculators, do give you the option to select if you want to build a wheel with the spokes crossing over to the opposite side, but they stress that that is not a common way to build this sort of a wheel, just a typical 3-cross pattern mountain bike wheel. So it is possible that this hub may not be a good match for this rim. It may require a rim that has more pronounced staggering of the spoke holes. And I could try to relace it to have the hub flanges matching the appropriate sides on the rim. Now, as far as repairing broken eyelets goes, I don't know if you can do it. They have some type of special tool they use at the factory to install them. I don't have that tool. I don't really know much about it. I looked for it on the internet, but I couldn't find a lot of info. If I ever do manage to learn about that, I'll make a video about it. But for now, I have another solution. I have read that you can use an M4 washer to replace the eyelet. So you can see that washer fits right over the spoke nipple very well. I'm going to have to gradually loosen the spokes all around the rim, probably just a quarter to a half turn at a time for each spoke until they get really loose, and then I can just remove them. Now, washers of the same size can actually have different diameters for the outer diameter, but this is the measurement I'm getting here. I don't know if the counterbore diameter on the inside of rims is all the same or if that differs. It's pretty much an exact fit. So in this case I was maybe lucky. I got the wheel all back together. Now it's got a slight vertical hop to it, but this isn't bad. As I was building this and adjusting the spokes, I did not notice the grinding of the spoke nipples against the eyelets like I did before. So hopefully this will work out. If there is more trouble, then I'll have to disassemble the wheel again and get a different rim, and then do spoke length calculations for the new rim and then rebuild. Hopefully that won't be an issue though, but I'll keep an eye on it and see how it goes.